You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. I hope you enjoyed today's horoscope and card reading. If you would like to support the AstroMommy Newsletter, there are several ways to do so. Subscribe on Substack, share it with a friend, schedule a reading, check out my family's Etsy shop, Metaphysical Flamingo, or just leave a tip. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. Thoughts, emotions, boundaries, and the Three of Swords, when love hurts. Daily Horoscope for Friday, June 16th, 2023. Good morning, friends. So we have another big weekend coming astrologically. Saturn stations retrograde on Saturday about 11 hours before the new moon in Gemini, which will perfect late on Saturday night at 9:36 p.m. Pacific or 12:36 a.m. technically on Sunday if you're on the East Coast. But we will definitely feel this new moon the whole weekend. Surrounding this new moon, we have some intense energy and some really positive, beautiful energy. But the biggest thing is that this new moon will be in square to Neptune in Pisces. This could represent some deception, loss, or confusion around the new intentions of this next lunar month. Because it is a new moon in Gemini, this may be about our mental processes, communication skills, and our curiosity. We could want to increase our knowledge base, but with the square to Neptune, exactly how to do that may be diluted somehow. So be aware that these energies are building. Maren Altman, a traditional astrologer I watch on YouTube, says that this new moon is a, quote, new but delusional beginning that may be out of touch with our best interests, unquote. She gives a quick horoscope for all 12 rising signs in the YouTube short below, which I found to be pretty helpful. My current teacher, Adam Ellenboss, said in his recent video titled, The Fascinating Features of This Weekend's New Moon in Gemini, that he'd like to think, quote, that this cycle could also feature really creative marriages between the intuitive and the rational. It's like putting the two spheres of our brain together and saying, let's get along here, let's come up with a holistic solution. So the potential for the integration of mind and spirit, or of intuition, the qualities of psychic awareness, the dream space, subtle synchronicities, all of that world of Neptune coming into contact with the magic and creativity of the mental space that Gemini represents, it could really be fantastic, unquote. You can watch his video here if you'd like to go deeper into this transit. Okay, let's get into the astrology. Friday is an interesting day. We just had potentially a really good, possibly spiritually transformative evening on Thursday, and so Friday is colored with a few aspects that are a little challenging and also healing. The moon in Gemini starts off with the quincunx to the south node in Scorpio at 3:21 a.m. Eastern Time. What this means is that we seek connection with what we physically have in our environment, and we are letting go of wants or desires that are no longer in touch with what we are trying to build. Then at 5:58 a.m. Eastern Time, the moon in Gemini perfects a semi-square to Chiron in Aries, and this tells me that we may be nursing some hurt or sad feelings. There could be things that are coming up that we feel pangs of grief about, but there's nothing really to do about them. The best thing with this transit is to realize that some of the feelings we are dealing with are really in our minds, and we just have to process them and let them go in order to move forward. In the later morning at 11:19 a.m. Eastern Time, the moon in Gemini squares Saturn in Pisces, and this may be the hardest transit of the day, in that the moon and Saturn coming together in a challenging square are never easy. This could bring up feelings of emotional isolation, loneliness, depression, and/or detached feelings. We could be thinking about things too seriously and trying to make decisions without having all the facts. We could also be experiencing the action of wanting to define our feelings with words, writing, or communicating them in some way, putting labels on things. Labeling things may be helpful as it provides a new structure or framework that may have been previously ambiguous. With both the moon and Saturn in mutable signs, the caution here is to not get too attached to whatever definitions you think you are settled on, because they will probably change again. With mutable energy, flexibility is required, so remain flexible and open to things changing multiple times. In the afternoon at 3:12 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon conjoins Mercury in Gemini, and this tells me that our ideas are flowing freely and uninhibited, and this looks really good for getting clear on what's going on and being able to communicate it clearly. We could feel in alignment with our thoughts, judgments, and feelings. This is an adaptable transit and shows flexibility and curiosity about our environment, emotions, and what we're mentally processing. We could feel more expressive, especially through mercurial means like writing, speaking, learning, traveling, or teaching. The last transit on Friday is a harmonious sextile between the moon in Gemini and Venus in Leo, perfecting at 4:57 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is a really positive opportunity for a great Friday night. If you have the ability to go out for the evening or spend some quality time with those you love, this is a very supportive transit for that. The moon and Venus in this sextile, especially in the gregarious signs of Gemini and Leo, indicate an evening of good conversations, laughter, romance, and affection. So even though the moon is in her balsamic, dark moon phase, this transit indicates that there is joy and fun to be had on Friday night. I would enjoy it if possible. We may all need a little joviality to counter the heavier stuff we've all been going through lately. Let's move on to the card for the day. What is the guidance for today? 3 of Swords. On this card, we see 3 swords piercing a red heart. In the background, there are stormy clouds and rain. The 3 of Swords represents heartbreak, pain, and sorrow. It usually means that our feelings get hurt, and sometimes it could mean breakups or divorce, depending on the question at hand. As the guidance for the day, I feel that this card fits in perfectly with the transits. First, with the moon's semi-square to Chiron, indicating hurt feelings. Then her square to Saturn, representing serious restructuring of boundaries, limitations, and wanting to define things. And finally, to the moon's conjunction to Mercury, where the words and thoughts are flowing freely. Swords representing thoughts, words, and communication. So this card is saying, yes, our feelings may be hurt and we may feel lonely and sad because of it. But because the day ends with the moon sextile Venus, I feel that this card is actually indicating that an opportunity for love and connection is possible, and it is through communicating that it is made so. It's not uncommon to need a good cry right before a new moon, so I feel that this card is inviting us to look at our pain, acknowledge it, bless it, and let it go. And we may need to talk about it. Let me know if this reading resonates with you in the comments. I hope this is helpful. Until tomorrow, AstroMommy.
Thank you for reading or listening to the Daily Horoscope. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. Today's card was pulled from the Universal Waite Tarot deck, available on Amazon. If you seek knowledge and enlightenment, the AstroMommy Newsletter may be right for you. Side effects of reading or listening to the AstroMommy Newsletter are common and include joy, jubilation, delight, happiness, gratitude, love, triumph, feeling in tune with the universe, experiencing deep insights, reflections, and contemplations, a lightened soul, a lighter step, feeling awake when others are asleep, illuminated, enlightened, having spiritual experiences, noticing repeating numbers, animals in nature, or songs on the radio that speak to you, getting vibes, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsmelliance, feeling like you know secret language, biophilia, crying tears of joy, emotional literacy, feeling lively, stable, exalted, having an auric glow, or feeling like you woke up on the right side of the bed have all been reported. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a very small commission. Thanks for listening.